Hello, my name is Dylan Stone. This is my video on the academic case study for HCC, Basic Public Speaking. The problem in this case study is that there's these young students that are in, I think it's elementary school, and they are having problems, focusing and paying attention, and they're disrupting class, which seems to be some of the main three topics of the ADHD in the school activities. And it's not necessarily the kids' faults because, at some point in time, you got to understand that that's just stuff that they can't control. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. And it's hard to differentiate between the two. But the teachers and then the school board in this study, they seem to just put the blame on the kid itself. And Gabe Silva, he wasn't a bad kid, and he actually excelled, pretty well in sports, and he got along with the kids for the most part, and the schoolwork just wasn't getting done at home because by the time he would get home, I guess he would, want to do other things. They said in the case study that he worked with his mother and his father. His mother, he helped cook, and he played sports with his father, but time and time again, kids definitely at a certain age, ADHD or not, it's hard for them to focus on schoolwork when there's just so many other things to be doing in the day, like spending time with your parents or family. And the school seems to take that to an all new level, and I don't think it needs to extenuate past, him just being a kid. And furthermore, with ADHD, growing up myself with ADD, it is hard to maintain focus even on one or two things at a time, more or less, several assignments per day, or however many he was getting. And the solutions, which I didn't find quite fair, they were wanting to put him in remedial classes where he can focus more on certain things at a time, and I don't think that would help at all. There's no point in isolating a kid because he just can't focus on homework. That doesn't really seem fair at all. But that was their solution, is to throw him in a private special needs class with just a teacher and either a small group of students or no students at all, just him and the teacher. And that's not going to help him succeed or move further from isolation if you have him just pinned down with just one teacher and just a small group of students. His strong suits were playing with the other kids, so it wouldn't make much sense socially to put him by himself. He did have some behavioral issues, such as like bossing the other kids around, but I think that just came from all the energy happening all at one time. And again, it wouldn't make it much fair if you had put him by himself as opposed to just letting things take its course. And even the teacher knew that. The teacher knew that, he wasn't a bad kid. It was just the way things go, and, it's it's ADHD for you. But the outcome to the solution there, I don't think it was kind of vague on the ending at the case study, but it made it seem like nothing really had changed or that they were really going to change anything, which again I think would be for the better. Just you have to understand case by case that these kids will be kids, and with ADHD or not, they're going to have loads of energy and act up in class from time to time while talking out and just talking in general when the class is going on. I know I had a problem with that when I was young. I was getting pink cards, as they called it in elementary school, all the time because I found school not necessarily boring, but kind of repetitive and just slow motion. So I would try to talk to friends and stuff and always get in trouble. And I think that's the same thing this kid's going through. And it's just part of life. But, he'll grow out of it at, middle school, maybe even high school, or maybe even in adulthood. You don't know, but most kids do grow out of it. Very few kids stick with ADHD or ADD up until adulthood or even in their late 20s, early 20s. So you just have to let nature take its course and hope things are corrected. but for the actual outcome of the case study, it doesn't really give a solution to the problem. It just seems to me that they want him to stop, and his parents want him to stop, but it's probably not going to happen, just how it is. But that is my academic case study for basic public speaking here at Henderson Community College, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you.